Right now, in 2026, the VA will hand a disabled veteran up to $126,000 toward their home. Not a loan. A grant, money you never pay back, not a dime, ever. And most of the veterans who've earned this exact benefit will go their whole lives without claiming a cent of it, for one reason: nobody ever told them it was there. Sit with that number for a second: $126,000 to build, to buy, or to change a home so a veteran can actually live in it the way their body needs them to. So stay with me, because by the time we're done you're going to know exactly what this grant is, the real $2,026 amounts, who qualifies and which conditions count, how many times in your life you're allowed to use it, and the one move that comes before the paperwork. And stay with me whether you're rated at 30% or 100, whether you got out last year or decades ago, because there's more than one of these grants. They cover more situations than most veterans assume, and the single biggest reason this money goes unclaimed is that people read one word and quietly talk themselves out of it before they ever apply. Quick word on who I am and who I'm not. I've spent years studying how veterans' benefits actually work, what veterans get told at the counter, and far more often, what they don't. I'm not a veteran. I never served, and I'd never pretend I did. I don't work for the VA, and I'm not an attorney. What I do is read the fine print on these benefits, the parts they tend to bury, so you don't have to take a brochure at face value. If that's useful to you, subscribe and turn on the bell, because this one is worth real money to the right person. So let me show you exactly what this is. The benefit is called the Specially Adapted Housing Grant. You'll hear it called SAH for short. Here's the simplest way to understand it. It's money the VA gives a veteran with a serious service-connected disability to make a home fit their life. You can use it to build a brand new home designed around how you move, to buy a home that's already set up, or to take a home you already own and remodel it so you can actually get through it and live in it with dignity. Ramps instead of stairs. Doorways wide enough for a wheelchair. A roll-in shower instead of a tub you have to climb into. Counters and sinks at a height you can reach. Hallways laid out so a person can get from one end of their own home to the other without a fight. This is not a small touch-up budget. It's serious money meant to turn a house that fights you every single day into a home that finally works with you. Now let me give you the real number for 2026, because vague talk about a grant means nothing until you see the actual dollars. The Specially Adapted Housing Grant, the big one, has a maximum of $126,526 for the 2026 fiscal year. And that ceiling isn't frozen. The VA adjusts it every year based on the cost of construction, so it tends to climb over time. $126,000 you never repay, to make a home work for a veteran who already paid with their body. That is a genuinely life-changing benefit, and it's sitting there unused by people who earned it. So who actually qualifies? I'm going to give you the honest answer, the real list, not a hyped-up version that wastes your time. The Specially Adapted Housing Grant is built for veterans with certain severe service-connected disabilities, the kind that affect how you move through the world. Let me walk the main ones. The loss or loss of use of both legs. The loss or loss of use of both arms. Blindness in both eyes combined with the loss or loss of use of a leg. The loss of one leg along with the lasting effects of disease or injury, or along with the loss of an arm, in a way that affects your balance or your ability to walk. Certain severe burns. And for veterans who served after September 11, 2001, the loss or loss of use of a lower limb that keeps you from balancing or walking on your own. Those are the conditions that open this grant. And here's where veterans make their biggest mistake, so pay attention, because this single point is the difference between claiming this money and walking away from it. Do not read that list and immediately decide it's not you. The phrase loss of use is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it does not mean what people assume. Loss of use does not mean the limb is gone. It means the limb no longer works the way it's supposed to, that it's been damaged or disabled to the point where you'd be about as well off without it. A leg that can't bear your weight. An arm that can't grip or lift. I've seen veterans with a leg that's technically still there but gives out under them, that drags, that keeps them on a cane or a walker, and they say, well, I still have the leg, so this part isn't about me. But a leg that doesn't do the job of a leg is, in the eyes of the VA, a leg you've lost the use of. The test is not whether the limb is still attached to your body. The test is whether it still works the way it's supposed to. So don't be the veteran who schemes a list, sees the word loss, pictures the most extreme version of it, and quietly walks away from a benefit worth more than $100,000 that they actually qualify for. Don't guess yourself out of it. Find out. And it's not only about legs and wheelchairs, so don't tune out if that's not your situation. There's a second grant, built for a different set of veterans entirely. Picture a veteran I'll call Ray, who lost most of his eyesight to a service-connected condition. Ray's home isn't a mobility problem, it's a safety problem. He needs the kind of adaptations that let a man who can't see well live in his own home without getting hurt in it: the lighting, the contrast, the layout, the specialized systems built around how he moves through the world now. That's what the second grant, the Special Housing Adaptation Grant, SHA, is for. It covers a different set of service-connected conditions: blindness in both eyes, the loss or loss of use of both hands, certain severe burns, and certain serious breathing or respiratory injuries. The SHA grant for 2026 goes up to $25,350. Smaller than the big one, but still real money to adapt a home, completely free to you. And here's something most veterans never realize: there isn't just one of these grants, there are three, and knowing which one fits you matters. You've got the big Specially Adapted Housing Grant. You've got the Special Housing Adaptation Grant. And the third one catches a lot of people off guard. It's called the Temporary Residence Adaptation Grant, TRA, and it's for a situation a lot of younger and recovering veterans find themselves in. If you don't own your own home right now, if you're living with a family member in their house, the VA will still help you adapt that home so you can live in it safely. For a veteran who qualifies on the big SAH side, the temporary grant goes up to $50,961. And on the SHA side, up to $9,100. Picture a younger veteran, I'll call him Tyler, who came home seriously hurt and isn't in a position to own a home yet. He's living with his parents while he gets his feet back under him, in a house with a narrow bathroom door, a tub he can't safely use, and a step at the front door he can barely manage. A lot of veterans in Tyler's shoes assume they're simply out of luck because their name isn't on the deed. That's exactly backwards. The temporary grant exists for Tyler. The VA will pay to adapt the home he's actually living in. Most veterans have never heard a word of that. And here's a piece that genuinely surprises people. This is not a one-time, it's-gone benefit. You can use grant money up to 6 different times over the course of your life, up to the maximum allowed. Think about what that actually means. Life changes. A condition can get worse over the years. You move, you buy a different home, you need a different adaptation than the one you needed 10 years ago. The adaptation that was enough at 50 may not be nearly enough at 60. And the VA built this so you're not punished for any of that. You're not locked into one house and one moment in time. As your life moves and your needs change, this benefit can move with you 6 times over a lifetime. Almost nobody knows that. Now let me clear up 2 worries that stop people who should never be stopped. First, this grant does not cancel out your other benefits. You can use a specially adapted housing grant together with your VA home loan. So a veteran can use the home loan to get into the house and the grant to make the house livable. They work together, it's not either or. It's one more tool stacked on top of the ones you already earned. And second, taking this grant does not touch your disability compensation. It does not reduce your rating. It does not trigger a review of your rating. It's a grant, separate and on top of everything else you receive. You are not trading your monthly check for help with your home. So if some part of you has been holding back out of fear that asking for this puts your compensation at risk, Let that fear go right now, because it doesn't. Let me put a real face on this, because numbers and rules wash over you until you picture an actual person. Picture a veteran I'll call Sam. Sam came home with the use of his legs gone, and he spends his days in a wheelchair, in a house that was built for somebody who walks. Every doorway is a fight. The bathroom is a danger every single day. He can't get to half the rooms in his own home without help, and he's too proud to ask for it every time. Sam isn't looking for a handout. He just wants to move through his own house like a man, to get to his own kitchen, to use his own bathroom safely, to not feel like a stranger in the place he lives. That's what this grant is for. The VA pays to widen those doorways, to build that roll-in shower, to ramp the entrance, to lower the counters, to turn Sam's house into a place that actually fits Sam. And he never pays $1 of it back, because he already paid with his body a long time ago. So here's exactly how a veteran claims this, because awareness does nothing if you never act on it. The application is a specific VA form. The number is 264555. You could apply online, you can apply through the VA, and you can get help filing it. But here's the move that comes before the form, and it's the lesson that sits underneath almost everything I talk about. Your service connection is the key that unlocks the door. This grant is built around service-connected disabilities, which means the condition that qualifies you has to actually be in your file, documented and rated as connected to your service. So if you've got a serious condition from your time in uniform that you never filed for, or that's gotten worse since you were last rated, that's the very first thing to handle, because without that service connection on the books, the door to this grant, and a lot of others, stays shut. Get the condition documented. Get it service-connected. Get it rated for what it really is. Then file for the housing grant. And one more thing, do not do this alone, and do not pay anyone a percentage of your benefits to do it. There are free, accredited veteran service officers, VSOS, through groups like the VFW, the DAV, and the American Legion, whose entire job is to sit down with you and help you get service-connected and file for this grant, at no cost to you. If anyone offers to recover this for you in exchange for a slice of your money, hang up. The people who do this best do it for free. So let me bring it all together. The VA will give a disabled veteran up to $126,000, money you never pay back, to make a home fit the body that service left you with. There are 3 versions of this grant for 3 different situations: the Big SAH grant, the SHA grant, and the temporary grant if you're living with family. You can use it up to 6 times over your life, and it stacks right on top of your home loan and your disability compensation without touching either one. Most veterans will never claim it, not because they don't qualify, but because nobody ever told them it was there, or they read one word and counted themselves out. One honest note before you go: I'm giving you information, not legal or financial advice for your specific case, so sit down with an accredited VSO who can look at your actual file. This is not a handout. It's a benefit you earned the hard way, and it's sitting there waiting for you to claim it. Do me one favor, share this with a veteran you know who's living in a home that fights them every day. He may be sitting on a $100,000 benefit he's never heard of. The VA isn't going to bring it up. You can. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.